All right, so good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I thought today I would talk about something that we all know of, and we all have a different idea about, I'm sure, and that's freedom. That's a biggie. But let's narrow it down a bit. Instead of about freedom for all and what this entails and all of that, how about personal freedom? That may be even as complex as world freedom. Just think of it. We are taught limitation. We are taught, just think about some of it we really kind of need, like driving on one side of the road and not having the whole road to us. So, there are certain things that are good for us, right? So we agree to those things. However, how many times have inside you've wanted to say something and held back? I'm sure everybody can say, yeah, me. Okay? Now, whether you're speaking to a friend, a relative, a peer of some sort, an acquaintance, a close relationship, whomever it is, why, and you have to ask yourself, why don't you speak? Why is it we hold back? And what's stopping us from saying what we really mean? Now, I don't mean saying it in the mean way. There's a difference between assertion and aggression, okay? And with assertion, you keep it on oneself. You keep it on, I feel, all right? And there's no finger pointing. There's no blame. I feel bad. I feel sad. I'm really frustrated right now. But sometimes we may hold back. And I've heard this from different sources, many different times. And I probably am, culpable also of saying, I'm not going to say it because that's going to hurt somebody. And now you have to think, all right, but if I don't say it, then am I being true to myself, and am I being honest with the other person? Am I really being authentic? Am I really allowing the other party to get to know me, or am I building a wall between myself and the other party because I'm not being myself? I'm hiding. Yeah. Now, usually when I've heard, and probably when I've said in younger years, no, I don't want to say that. I'm going to stay away from that. Why? Why stay away from the sensitive topics? Why stay away from the taboo topics? And why are they sensitive, or why are they taboo? And what if we stood in our ground, meaning we are our authentic selves? What if We say who we are. What if, and in saying who we are, yes, we become vulnerable, but it's in our vulnerability, and this is paradoxical, which lies our strength. And I'm going to say that again. It's within our vulnerability, therein lies strength. Therein lies freedom. And therein lies sovereignty. We become our authentic selves when we are true to ourselves. We say what we believe, not what somebody else wants to hear. We say what we think. Now, do we always have to butt in and say everything? Can we keep quiet sometimes? Yeah, we can. All right? But there's a difference between keeping quiet because of choice and keeping quiet because of limitation posed from externally. Do you hear what I'm saying? Yeah. So, freedom. So freedom of speech is huge. And freedom of speech is something that not only may it be limited somehow from different places, and we do it ourselves, to ourselves. Okay? As a QHHT practitioner, I know that the throat chakra of a lot of people has gotten a little congested, shall we say. And some people come in and they may talk very, very softly, okay, to begin with. And I know when they're talking almost in a whisper that they weren't allowed to speak as children. Okay? Yeah. And then usually in hypnosis, people speak more softly. Then I know I'm in trouble and I'm going to have to really, really listen. Okay? Because they're speaking softly to begin with. But that also, when people come in with throat issues, or, sometimes it's thyroid or this or that, usually it has to do something with the throat chakra and something about not speaking truth and not speaking up for oneself and all of that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. So freedom, and more specifically, freedom of speech is up to us. Is up to each one of us. One of our truths, one of our principles here is that we are responsible for ourselves. Whew, that's huge. That means no victimhood. That means we are the creators of our own reality. That's huge. And that also means that we are responsible for what we say and what we don't say. We are responsible for the manifestations that we have, basically in our bodies, but that's another topic. So, back to freedom. And there are a lot, but I've decided to kind of narrow it down to freedom of speech and freedom of speech about self. So, as we go forward today, let's really think. When we go to say something and we don't, because this is habitual. It becomes second nature, certainly if you've done it for years, maybe decades. Think if you can catch yourself, even if not in the moment, even if in retrospect when thinking about a conversation that you had, that you didn't say something. or that conversation with that friend that you've been meaning to have for 3 years, and you still haven't had it? Think about it. Is it time? And you might say, but I don't know if the relationship will tolerate it. Can you tolerate not being honest in the relationship? Because isn't that what it's about? Is showing yourself, and each of us is different. We're not stamped out of this, we're not clones. We're not stamped out of the same mold. So each of us in this room has a different perspective, even about this talk. So if you were to get together somehow, if you were to talk about it amongst yourselves at some point in time, you're going to have 2 different perspectives of it. And we are different. We are beautifully different. We are beautifully unique. And that's one of the gifts that we have to offer with our authenticity, which is our uniqueness of perspective, of perception, of reality. Yeah. That's huge, isn't it? Yeah. But it's also such a gift to be able to share one's perspective of reality with someone else. That's a gift. And so, no, when you put it out there, you don't know what the result is going to be, and that takes courage. Yeah. And where are you going to find it? Inside. It's there. Oh, it's there. Okay? It's a muscle that you may not have used in that kind of way. You've used it in other ways. But maybe in that kind of way for a while. But think about it. You may find that you wish to try it out. Maybe. It's up to each and every one of us, regardless of age. Because we all have friendships. We all have connections with other people. Yeah. And I'll leave you with that. The thought for the day about freedom of our own speech. Or not. Namaste all.
Thank you very much.